Oilers Nation After Dark begins now.
Edmonton Oilers sure don't like to make things easy on themselves. The Oil, they jumped out to a 2-0 lead, only to blow it in the third period. The best game of the year from Stuart Skinner, by far. The best game of the year from Conor McDavid, by far. And I hate to say it, but that kind of felt like classic Edmonton Oilers hockey as they find a way to lose it in overtime with 6 seconds remaining and lose to the Carolina Hurricanes 3-2. Hello and welcome to Oilers Nation After Dark after an incredibly disappointing result. Joined tonight by Oilers Nation legend Bag Milk. The one positive tonight is I get to stare at that chest with those very defined pecs this evening, but checking in with the chat to start off because I knew it's going to be a spicy one tonight. I could see Scott's in. I blame this loss on that third period wave. It was all downhill from there. Oh, we'll talk about that in just a second. Percy, why is the night we finally get some special teams working and good goaltending? The 5v5 play fell apart. Final buzzer, positive, said they all played better tonight. K-Waddy, you could not lose that game, and they were begging to lose it. So where do we even start? Liam and myself actually today predicted a 3-2 Edmonton Oilers victory, and I thought I was pretty close to that one. I was super close to going 3 for 3 for Bordzy's bankroll. I had Conor McDavid over 2 points or at 2 points. I had Jeff Skinner over 2.5 points. I had a Zach Hyman anytime goal. It was almost the perfect night until it wasn't. Bag Milk, your thoughts?
Yeah, man, they through 40 minutes, the Oilers looked like they were in really good shape. It looked like they were playing, it wasn't a perfect game. Obviously, Carolina got a bunch of chances and opportunities to score, but the Oilers looked like they were in good shape. 40 minutes down with a 2-goal lead, no problem. 2 points in the bank. And then, the PK disastrous again. And then Martin Etchus on the bad change. And all of a sudden we're going to overtime. It's like, whoa, this is turned around in a hurry. I blame myself. I was having too much fun.
Yeah, you said that. I was getting too close to being like, am I going to have literally the perfect night tonight? Down to the score, down to Bordzy's bankroll, and it's gone. And of course I didn't. All right, let's open up this game. There's a lot to talk about. And the way we're going to start is with the man in the blue paint. Because tonight, Stuart Skinner defenders, stand up, okay? Put your hands up, be proud, be loud, and give yourself a pat on the back. Because that is the Stuart Skinner. That's the level that I know he can be at. He was all over the place. He had a beautiful breakaway save in like the first 5 minutes against Andrei Svechnikov. Right there, I knew it. And he took off from there. Yes, he did have some early puck luck with the Carolina Hurricanes, literally missing wide open nets.
Hey, chat, can you hear me? Should I just take over the whole show? Aaron muted. Aaron's gone. Folks, running the show. R.I.P. Bordzy. We lost Bordzy. Is it Bag Milk here? Is it we got the B-cast. Let's go. Let's go. All right, here we go. I haven't done one of these in a minute, but thank God I'm here because all of a sudden I'm excited. The Edmonton Oilers look like they are in good shape to win a game. And then what happens? They go and they fuck themselves again. They go and they do what the Oilers have done all season, and they go out into the third period and they think it's going to look easy. And then all of a sudden, the Hurricanes come roaring back. All of a sudden, just like that, Louie and Jack start talking about how the Canes are relentless. You can't give up on the Canes. You can't let them have space to get back in the game. And then what happens?
And then what fucking happens?
Then the Hurricanes get a bad goal on a PK. Should have been cleared. Stu arguably made what was the save of the season in Game 7 of the regular season schedule. Then can't get the puck out. Had plenty of time. Rim around the boards. Goes to Shane Gothisbehere on what seems like the second or third chance. Boom! Back of the net. All of a sudden, the Hurricanes have life. Too early in the game in the third period to allow that kind of shenanigans. The disastrous. Here's Aaron. Aaron's back. I don't have to carry the show anymore. Although we don't know. Oh, Aaron's gone again. Here I am.
Saints back to let's go.
Again, as I was mentioning, a bad clear opportunity on the peak allows the Hurricanes an opportunity to get back in the game. And all of a sudden, I'm mad again on my first After Dark appearance of the season. Boys are back. Maybe they're not.
You're doing a fantastic job of keeping the show going because I have no idea what just happened there. I'm a producer of live programs, and the classic thing you do when things don't work, unplug them, plug them back in, and then it will work from there. So people, let me know if my audio is okay. Let me know if my video is okay. I think I'm back. So, Bag Milk, I want to talk Stuart Skinner because he was absolutely incredible this evening. Can you? You can hear me?
I'm here.
Okay. I think you can hear me. Stuart Skinner, tell me about what an amazing game he had this evening. Hopefully I can get my connection better here.
Yeah. I mean, you just kind of missed me going on a tangent there, Aaron, for about, 45 seconds, 60 seconds there. Yes, he was solid. Through 40 minutes, he was arguably the Oilers' best player outside of Conor McDavid, and he made more than a handful of really quality saves. You mentioned it earlier before we lost you. The Hurricanes did miss a lot of grade A chances on their own. They either just duffed it or they missed wide or whatever. But in the interim, Stu was there and it's standing tall between the pipes. I thought he needed a bounce back effort after, a tougher outing against Dallas on Saturday. And I thought he gave it. I thought he gave it his all. And Stuart Skinner was definitely not the reason the Oilers lost.
That was exactly what I was in the middle of saying before I cut out, is that tonight on pre-gaming, I said, I've been a number one Stuart Skinner defender. I believe in this guy through and through. He's done it time after time after time where he bounces back. But I said, I don't know how many more shows I can do sitting here and defending him when, it isn't the best effort ever. But tonight he got the message. He must have been watching pre-gaming. Holy shit, some of those saves he made tonight, specifically the one on Martin Necas. It was absolutely insane, but the pressure was on him. The spotlight was on him. You're back on home ice. And what does Skinner do? Because it's all he's ever done in a short NHL career is bounce back. Yes, he has inconsistencies from time to time. He's 25 years old. He is a young goaltender. But the one thing we can say without a doubt with Stuart Skinner is he always ends up bouncing back in some way. The picture of him at the end of the game, laying face down with his mask against the ice, sitting there for what felt like an hour. I'm sure it was just 5 seconds. It was painful to watch. Oh, we're going to get a look at it right here. Oh, Pat, that hurts my soul to look at the local boy. But he was excellent tonight. The other guy that I want to talk about that was just damn good tonight was Conor McDavid. He was doing McDavid-like things. He starts the game, absolutely rips one past Freddie Anderson, and he got it by making a great defensive play in his own end. And that was just Conor being Conor up the ice. That top line, I thought, looked way better tonight. We can talk about the splitting up of McDry as we move along, but overall, thought McDavid tonight, it was his best game of the season. It was Stuart Skinner's best game of the season, and it comes at a waste tonight. I guess you did get 1 point, but you got to be a little disappointed, but you're thrilled with the effort from the captain from the Edmonton Oilers, BM.
Yeah, it's the first goal of the night. That shot, no goalie in the league stopping that. He absolutely ripped it, just a snipe. And to see him shoot the puck like that, he looked more like 60-goal McDavid than he did 30, whatever it was last year. So you love to see the captain score goals like that. You love to see him drive the puck to the net on the second goal. He played great, and it only seemed like a matter of time before he was going to get a hat trick. Ultimately, it didn't happen, but it wasn't for lack of chances. McDavid was really, really good tonight. And hopefully that's just the start of a larger run for him. Not this, he's been awful by any stretch. He never is, but you really want him to heat up. The Oilers are in a hole now again, and they're going to need Connor to get out of it. And I thought, hopefully, tonight's the start of that.
That was just patented Connor McDavid performance tonight. And like you just mentioned, he had 6 points in 6 games coming into tonight. It's not like he's been bad by any stretch of the imagination. And he might have to start putting on that superhero cape and putting the team on his back. The other guy is running mates, Leon Draisaitl. I'm going to start this one off with, I love Leon. I love everything about him. The phrase I say all the time, you live by the sword and you die by the sword. I think Leon Draisaitl has an early lead for dumbest play of the entire season. Number 2 candidate is also Leon Draisaitl when he put the cross-check into Garnet Hathaway, but he outdid himself with the one in the first period. I saw Tyler tweeting about it. I saw everybody tweeting about it when him and Jeff Skinner going in on a 2-on-1. Leon trying to get the breakaway pass. Skinner can't get it to him. Leon flies by the blue line, quitting on the play, thinking that, okay, this one's probably going to go off sides. Shout out to Jeff Skinner because he keeps it onside and he's waiting for Leon to come back with the most half-ass back check I've ever seen. They end up little scrambly, turn the puck over, and then Leon Draisaitl takes a cross-checking penalty while incredibly soft. I thought it was incredibly soft, but it was right in front of linesman, in front of the ref. They're going to make that call 9 times out of 10, and I was just sitting there. Infuriating was the phrase because we love Leon Draisaitl. He does so many good things for this team, but brother, you're in year 10 of your NHL career. I believe he's 28 years old. Can we cut that stuff out? It is so frustrating. Bag Milk, what were your thoughts on that play?
I don't know, man. Like, it's one of those things where sometimes you get Leon in a pissy mood and sometimes he does dumb shit like that. I don't know. To me, it always more so makes me laugh than it does anything else, because as much as we want to get angry about it or annoyed about it, and I saw Tyler's tweets too, and even listening to you talk, you're 100% right. You're right, but at the same point, it still makes me laugh because it's so stupid. Get out of the zone. Jeff Skinner sitting there waiting. He's tap dancing the line for what feels like an eternity. And it's just the old Titanic is slowly turning around to get out of there. And then the penalty he took after the Arvidsson Bisney was also pretty funny. And I don't know. It's just one of those things with him when he's not feeling at his best or he's pissed off or something that, he gets salty about it. He gets mad about it.
And it's right, like everybody in the chat, this isn't going to change. Danger Swade. Leon's been doing this for 10 years. It is who he is. After 10 years, we know who Leon is. Yes, and I totally understand it. Live by the sword, die by the sword. But I'd be remiss not to mention that. It was just right. Offsides, lazy play, pissy cross-check. It's so annoying. But it is what it is as we get through the evening. I want to talk about that second line as well. I thought top line, Nuge, McD, Hyman, you knew exactly what you were going to get. They're one of the best trios in the entire NHL. But that second line of Jeff Skinner, Leon Draisaitl, and Victor Arvidsson, what were your thoughts on them tonight? Everybody in the chat, please let me know as well, because I thought they had a number of excellent possession cycle shifts down low where they were just pinning the Carolina Hurricanes in their defensive end. Saw some what felt like chemistry developing. Arvidsson coming in, fanning on his one-time attempts, but he was getting set up. Talked about on pre-gaming that regardless of the results tonight, I wanted to see this trio. Please, Nobby, give them a 4-game run. Give them a 5-game run. I made the joke that the Edmonton Oilers are the only team that spends all offseason talking about the new proven wingers they brought in for Leon Draisaitl and then continue to not play him with said new wingers. They did get a full game together tonight. What were your thoughts of RV Dry and Jeff Skinner?
You said it. It's going to take them a minute. You know, they had one preseason game together, first game of the year, and then that was it. So it's going to take them a minute. But then you look at the box score over at the NHL site, and between the three of them, they had 11 shots on net. With a little bit of luck, those are going to start going in. You think, so like, for fuck me, like, we can't get any scoring luck right now. And those guys had some really good shifts in the offensive zone. So I think there's going to be some chemistry that can build there. I saw somebody saying in the chat already that Arvidsson's a bust. I just think with guys coming in on a new team with high expectations, it's going to take them a little bit of time to get going. Jeff Skinner, fortunately, has already gotten there. Guy's got 6 shots on net again tonight. He just fires in high volume, that dude. Bet the over on the shot prop, by the way. Good Lord. But Aaron, you nailed it. I think it's going to take a little bit more time than a couple of games for them to gel and find some chemistry.
And I know people bring up that Victor Arvidsson missed most of last year. I believe it was back surgery. He did play 18 games. He had 15 points. It'll take him time, I guess, physically as well, but it's all about the chemistry and gelling. I just pray that one Chris Knobloch continues to let them cook, as the meme says. But Jeff Skinner, dude, I don't get what Bet365, what box scores they're looking at, because Skinner over 2.5 shots was plus 140 tonight. He's hit that now in 6 of 7 games. It's free money. It's easy money. Everybody continue to ride. Probably now that I say that, Bet365 will change those odds, but everybody in the chat saying it there too. That line is cooking. Continue to let them find some chemistry. Speaking of chemistry and a big storyline coming in tonight, we'll talk about this, then we'll get in the scoring summary right after. Was one Darnell Nurse, the doctor, DR25. Lot of discussion as on pre-gaming I sat here with. I don't understand any of this, of why Darnell Nurse was playing with Travis Dermott, let alone playing with Dermott, but switching them both from their sides that they've been playing so far this season. At one point, Jack Michaels said Darnell hasn't played the right side since 7 seasons ago. Fun fact, it was against the Carolina Hurricanes. But for so many reasons, I was confused, right? Nurse and Troy Stecher, I thought had been cooking, getting a little bit of chemistry going, looking well. The past couple of games, they got better each game. I was very confused by this move to even take out a guy like Ty Emerson, because I thought him and Kulak were starting to build some chemistry. There is the argument Dermott sat out for 3 games. You got to bring him out, bring him back in at some point. Emerson's kind of the odd man out there. Overall, what did you think of Darnell on the right side? Because I thought he looked a little hesitant and rough early on in the game. There was one specifically, needed to get it out of the zone. He had plenty of time behind the net, kind of flubbed the puck, didn't know what to do. Canes kept it in. They eventually did not score. But overall, as the game went along, it wasn't terrible. I don't think it was the worst thing ever. What did you think of Darnell Nurse playing the right side?
I think everybody hates him so much all the time anyway, that why not try him on the right side? You know, put him up front, put him in net. Everybody's going to hate Darnell Nurse regardless of what he does. So I thought he was fine. I thought that fine is probably the word for it. I don't think he was great. I don't think he was horrible. I thought he was fine. But ultimately, when you make $9.25 million, people don't care if you're fine. They want you to be better than fine. And I don't know that he's going to be. So what can you get out of Darnell Nurse is really the question that we have to ask ourselves, because he's not going anywhere. The guy played 20-38. He was a -1. He had 2 shots, one block, 2 hits. Like, he did what Darnell Nurse does. I'm surprised to see him on the right side, but why not? Like, people already don't like how he plays on the left side. Why not give him a look on the right side? I thought it'd be hilarious if the hockey gourds were just like, haha, you've been playing him on his right wing the whole time, thinking that was the problem. But again, like some line mates we were talking about before, it'll probably take them a minute if they want to play him there, or I could see them switching him right back for next game. So Darnell Nurse is an adventure at times. When he's simple Daryl, he's all right. Just getting him there takes a little bit of time. So he is what he is. I'm tired of shitting on Darnell Nurse all the time.
Me too. I've been defending him. Final Buzzer's in here. He says that was a wacky experiment with Nurse. Mistaken Mexican. There was a few times he looked lost on the right side, but overall, for a guy that hasn't done it in 7 years, I thought he did a serviceable job. And I believe it was John Shannon at the intermission. He was giving Darnell Nurse some love, as saying, you know, what doesn't this guy do for the team? He's a leader in the room, the community. He plays top 4 minutes. He will switch sides. He plays PK. He plays second line power play. Kind of does it all. I think the term he said was he does everything but make the popcorn in Rogers Place. Haha. Good one, John Shannon. But you're asking him to carry the second pair, which is something a $9.25 million defenseman should be able to do. Probably should be able to do that easily. Last couple of games, I thought he had been doing that. And I don't know, Coombsy made a good argument today on ONE that if you're looking for someone to play the right side, Darnell Nurse probably is the most athletic build, the most natural athlete on the team, that he might be able to figure things out. We tried Brett Kulak in the playoffs. That we all remember failed miserably, so we didn't go back to that. Let's move now and get into our scoring summary, brought to you by Greta Barriere. You know him, you love him, my favorite watering hole in the entire city. And if you're downtown Edmonton right now, I understand it is a Tuesday night, but after a game like that, you might need to enjoy a cold one and kind of drown in your tears a little bit. Greta Barriere, the best place to do that. You'll dry your tears in a second. They got arcade games, awesome bar, awesome street food. My favorite spot in the entire city, but you guys already knew that. Let's move here to the first goal of the game, and it happened fast. 3 minutes and 34 seconds into the game. Conor McDavid, you'll see at the beginning of this replay, I hope he makes a great defensive play in his own end, poking the puck loose, and then it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' nose. This guy's got his wheels. Let's give him the puck right back. Connor goes up the ice. You made the comment. I don't think any goaltender in the NHL is stopping that one. The speed he comes in with barely even moving his feet there. The last couple strides goes bar down, made a beautiful sound. The crowd went wild. This was Connor doing Connor things, Bagmel.
Yeah, that's Connor at his best. Again, like I said a little bit earlier, that looked like 60-goal Connor. Nobody's stopping that. Frederick Anderson, for some reason, has some kind of spell over the Oilers. He's got a pact with Satan.
You talking about me?
Yeah, but you go away for now. But you can't stop that. It's perfectly placed. It's top shelf. It's a snipe. Connor at his best. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Yep, there's not much. Then we move to the second period, 2 minutes and 30 seconds into that bad boy. Connor was burying early into periods. The Oilers power play, it was a struggling on this one specifically. They couldn't even get the puck in the zone, but here it is, end of that power play, or last minute of the power play, I should say. Connor just plays a little bit of give and go. I didn't even like the play from Evan Bouchard here to do what he did. I don't know if Connor was really expecting it, had to reach, makes a play, does Connor things, takes it to the hoop, and I liked here, simple play. Power play is struggling, pucks to the net, pucks on net. He has one shot, gets a second attempt, jamming away at this thing. That was an effort goal. 97 making it to the ice, to the front of the ice, center of the ice, front of the net. That's what I'm looking for. And it was a thing of beauty. Vibes right here, pretty high, thinking, okay, got Connor 2 points, my first bet of the night cashed. Great goal. Power play, not great tonight, Bag Milk, but this will go down as a power play goal.
Yeah, it wasn't great again, but ultimately I think it hopefully gives them a little bit of momentum going forward. The PK has struggled mightily. Everybody knows that. It's not looking at all like we're used to. And hopefully that gets it going. Nice drive to the net by Connor. I think the lesson there on that goal for me, Aaron, is get to the net, get greasy. It wasn't the prettiest goal. It wasn't a highlight goal. They weren't going tic-tac-toe or anything like that. That was just a product of hard work, hustle, and getting to the tough areas of the ice. More of that, please.
I see Quinn is in right now and says, I like the Connor coasting into his own end, giving up an odd man rush much better. That Connor seems to be more common this season. I don't need that right now. Okay, Quinn, I don't need that energy right now. We go to the start of the downfall as Shane Gostisbehere, 44 seconds into the third period, gets on the board. I think this one, yeah, there it is. So we should just end it right there because, my God, save of the season. And Stuart Skinner was making a couple of them tonight. Absolutely incredible, but the Oil can't get the puck out of the zone. And it felt like before you could even process the save that Stu had just made, it ended up in the back of the net. Look at this thing. That is absolutely ridiculous. Janmark gets the puck behind the net. He just cannot get it out of the zone. And what do you know? I was online, right? I'm in the Canes subreddit. I'm checking out game day talk. I'm checking in-game talk during this. At the second intermission, so many Canes fans were talking about Shane Gostisbehere needs to be on that power play and he needs to be ripping pucks. This one, an absolute laser beam. He's leading this team in goals so far this season. He's got 4 on the year. This went from such a beautiful play to a nightmare very fast, Bag Milk.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because, like I said, it would have been the save of the season for Stu. And I think Janmark didn't know how much time he probably had there behind the net. He had a lot more time to make a play than he probably thought he did. That's the bummer of the whole situation is he just ripped it around the boards. It got stopped and ends up in the back of the net. That's the bummer there. But hell of a save by Stu. It was a classic, throw your legs around and hope for a prayer, and it worked. And it's just a bummer that his teammates couldn't bail him out with a clear on it.
Rusty's in. That save was absolutely unreal. Sergeant Battle's in with a little bit of Stu action. The crowd, I thought tonight, way better until that wave, and we will talk about that in just a moment. K. Waddy calling Janmark on that play pathetic. Yeah, it was not ideal. Don't worry, it gets worse because the Canes tie up the game 13-29 into that third period. And you take a look at this highlight. This is just working the puck up the zone quite beautifully with a little bit of a change from the Oil. It's Marty Nietzsche's. Who was that? It was Robinson. That's what it was. That was a beautiful touch pass in front of the net. As you see this bad boy, give credit where credit's due. Nietzsche's, he's a good player. He went right to the spot, put his stick on the ice where only he could really get that one. That is a beautiful, beautiful pass. Someone's going to find a way to blame this one on Darnell Nurse, I am sure. little bit of a backbreaker here. And I think everybody in oil country went, oh my God, is this about to happen again? We are not going to waste a Stu performance. That, though, that is just a pretty sick goal back now.
Somebody's going to find a way to blame Nurse, and it's going to be me. He kind of ended up in no man's land there a little bit. He didn't take the shooter. He didn't take the passing option. He just kind of spun around the middle. I know it's bang, bang play. It ultimately happened as a result of a bad line change. So there's all kinds of people to blame there. But I didn't like the play by Darryl. Nice execution by the Canes, though. Perfectly executed odd man rush. Nietzsche's with the tap in. So from a Hurricanes perspective, lots to like. From an Oilers perspective, starts with bad change and just kind of gets worse from there.
I see Mark Moore is in. Skinner needs to take that pass away. Bashan. Janmark with a terrible attempted change on that goal. Yeah, it's pretty fair on that one. There was a backbreaker, and there was more of them. So the Oilers, we get to overtime. Vibes aren't great, but you're like, hey, it's 3-on-3. You get Connor and Leon Bouch. You got to feel good about this. I felt incredibly good about this, predicting a 3-2 Edmonton Oilers victory. And Zach Hyman had a very good chance in front of the net, which would have made it the perfect night for myself. And then we get to that third game-winning goal for the Carolina Hurricanes. This one is tough because it's a 2-on-1 going the other way. Stuart Skinner does what he needs to do, and this is where it's tough because it's your captain, it's your leader, and it's Conor McDavid completely leaving the zone without any possession for the Edmonton Oilers. I understand he thought Bouchard was going to get that puck, get it up to him, live by the sword, die by the sword. Imagine a buzzer beater Conor McDavid breakaway. Would have been the perfect end of this night. Unfortunately, they can't get it. Beautiful, beautiful pass here. Stuart Skinner knew it was coming to that side. He was making these saves all night long until he didn't. As Sebastian Aho scores his second in the season, and he puts the final nail in the Edmonton Oilers coffin. Bag milk on that goal. I hate on Connor McDavid's best performance of the season, but that one, it's tough. That's what 3-on-3 overtime is. You go up, you go down, and you're going to try and get your puck, get your odd man rush. Little do you know, you got an odd man rush going the other way. Thoughts on that back-breaking overtime goal for Sebastian Aho?
Yeah, I mean, it was only a matter of time, I guess, because of the way 3-on-3 is kind of set up. But the Oilers had so many chances early in the OT that they could not close, that it almost felt inevitable that the Hurricanes were going to find a way to go the other way and at least get a good chance or two. They ended up having more than a couple, but they were the ones that ultimately executed. And when I think of the overtime period today, I'm frustrated that the Oilers had so many good looks. The Hurricanes didn't even touch the puck for like the first 90 seconds of the bonus period, but they just could not cash. And it was flashing back to the first 40 minutes against Dallas a little bit because Frederik Andersen, again, he just owns the Oilers. He is now 18-2-2 against them in his career. It doesn't make sense, but the fact that they couldn't score again at a time when they really needed one and they had all kinds of chances, that's what most frustrates me about the OT, not the Aho game winner.
And you got to give credit where credit's due. It was a goaltender battle tonight. Freddie Anderson, 33 saves, 35 shots. Stuart Skinner, 30 on 33. Stu, the 909 save percentage. You got to like that. The Oilers do get 1 point. He said before the game tonight that 2-5-0 looks a lot worse than 2-4-0. 2-4-1, a little bit better, but things need to change. I did see enough from the Edmonton Oilers, right? It's the last two games. Oh, Pat, can you also check during this? Let me know what the deserve to win-o-meter says tonight for the Edmonton Oilers, because bag milk, every game we lose, I've been hanging my hat on that technically in deserve to win-o-meter standards. The Oil were 5-1 so far this season, but they're not. They lose in overtime 3-2 to the Carolina Hurricanes, as that one hurts. Let's move along now to the good, the bad, and the oily, brought to you by Square, because if you run a restaurant, you're too busy for this ad. You're thinking about how to get more orders flowing and new locations opening. You need to get more customers and keep them coming back. So really, you're already thinking about Square, because Square Restaurant Tech helps more than 400,000 restaurants do all those things and more. So when you're thinking about your restaurant, think bigger and think Square. You can go to their link in the description of our YouTube episode and, of course, on Facebook. Check them out online. reuse Square at our nation events. I know Oodle Noodle is using Square as well. And hey, as I always say, everyone should just get one of these at home and you can make your buddies pay for pizza very, very easily. Tonight, Bag Milk, I think it's pretty obvious what the good was this evening. So let's take a look at it right now. Pat, pull it up for me. It's Stuart Skinner, not Jeff. Granted, he had a good game too. He's cashing shot props like crazy. But Stu, I mean, we've already touched on it enough here, but absolutely incredible bounce back performance. Save of the season. He had a couple of them. There was a lot of tweets online about him doing flips and circles and everything all over the place. It was any means necessary tonight by Stuart Skinner. And I just love the confidence. I've had to sit here on Oilers Nation After Dark for the first couple of Stu's games this season. And it has just been person after person blaming Stu for the loss. I'm still frustrated by after the Dallas game, how much blame was put on Stuart Skinner in that game. I understand that first Duchesne goal he gave up. Yes, he wants to make that save. It was Duchesne walking in. I just think Stu has become a whipping boy for this franchise and for this fan base right now, much like a one Darnell Nurse tonight. Fantastic to see the bounce back performance from the local boy. What can you say we haven't already touched on? Thoughts on Stuart Skinner tonight, Bag Milk?
Yeah, I was hoping for him to have a good night after, a little bit of a tougher outing against Dallas. So he wasn't the worst part of that game, but I was hoping for a better night from Stu, and I thought he did that. I thought he made a lot of saves that you would expect your starter to make, and some of them that probably they shouldn't make, but he did anyway. Unfortunately, some of the mistakes that wound up in the back of the net were kind of from the skaters in front of him, in my opinion. On the first one, I think of Janmark failing to clear, and on the second one, I think of the line change and kind of the scramble fest in the defensive zone on the trying to defend the odd man rush. So that's unfortunate for Stu, because ultimately some mistakes by those in front of him really kind of wiped out what was his best outing of the season so far.
Yep, I think everybody, Nikki's in the chat, says Stu deserved better. You're damn right. You're damn right he did. At least he gets the overtime loss, I guess. With the good comes the bad, and tonight we went with blowing a 2-0 lead. Obviously, I said last season we were the team. Remember, we started the year obviously 2-9-1 dog shit, but we wouldn't play well for 2 periods, and you knew the Edmonton Oilers in the third period were going to come out, have the clutch gene, lock it down, or find a way to get back in the game. But so far this season, it's kind of been the reverse. You worked so hard to get a 2-0 lead in this game. It took some Conor McDavid heroics in this one. And as I said, it just felt like classic Edmonton Oilers hockey. You could feel the tide turning. Very reminiscent of what happened in the Dallas game, right? You went, I'd argue, 39 and a half minutes of that game dominating. You take that penalty at the end of the second period, Troy Stetcher in the Dallas game, and boom, it's in the back of your net, and you're kind of chasing it. You could just feel this one unraveling. The Oilers, great first couple minutes in the game. McDavid does his thing, but the first power play looked absolutely fantastic. And then after that, it just kind of all fell apart. It felt a little stagnant. Some lines not as good. Some had their chances, but once again, not able to bury, which has been the storyline so far this season. Bag Milk tonight, the bad, it's blowing a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, after 40 minutes, when you're going into the third period up by 2 goals, you should have enough to close it out. And the Oilers, they just didn't have a killer instinct tonight, too. That's another bad thing, in my opinion, is that they just couldn't get the next one to really start nailing the coffin shut. And, like I said, blowing a 2-goal lead hurts anytime. It's especially bad when you do it in the third period. And unfortunately, they let the Hurricanes back into it with mistakes, and they capitalized in OT. You got to give them props, but yeah, that's bad by the Oilers.
Yeah, it is bad. We then get to the Oily and throw it up on the screen here, Pat, because it's the Hyman curse. I don't even know how to explain this one right now. This guy is the definition of snake bitten. I said he has poisonous venom running through his body right now. Hyman, anytime goal scorer, was just a roller coaster of emotions this evening. What he ended the night with 3 shots on goal. He was all over the place, man. In overtime, he had such a chance to do it. I believe Jack said at one point he's the first 50-goal scorer to the next season go 6 games without scoring. Now he's gone 7 games without scoring right now. We've made the joke that with can't have a significant presence in the crease this season, will Zach Hyman ever score again? It's kind of feeling that way right now. And I mentioned on pregame, He's got all this puck luck last season. Do I expect him to score 54 goals again this year? No. I'll take 40. I'd be perfectly fine with that. I'll take high 30s if it means he's having a good season. But last year he got the puck luck, right? He was scoring goals off his chest, off his legs, off his face at some point. It was any means necessary. And so far, 7 games of this season, he can't buy a goal. He doesn't have any puck luck. It legitimately feels like a curse.
Yeah, the only thing that I can think of is that his parents didn't send the NHL the check they wanted at the beginning of the season. You know, that's the only thing that makes sense outside of being cursed. Aaron, I imagine we're going to have to head out into the streets and find some kind of sacrifice to right this wrong with the hockey gourds. If not, you know, I feel bad for Waz because I'm gonna have to do something. And chat, I might need an alibi. So if anybody asks, I was with all of you. All right.
You're right. You're right here. This could be an AI voice recording of you. Who knows? No, you're here and you're hanging out. The other oily that we have this evening that we got to talk about, I'm sure Liam Horban will cook on this one tomorrow, is Jay's in here. I love Jay. What up, Jay? Oily, the wave up one in the third period. This is a message to all the people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why would you ever do something like that? I understand you pay your hard-earned money to go to Rogers Place. You do whatever the hell you want to do. If you want to throw stuff on the ice, I'm not going to stop you. If you want to put your arms up and wave, I'm not going to stop you. But I am going to continue to say, please stop doing this. It makes no sense. I saw you tweeting Liam. I saw Liam talking about it. People, if you were in the building tonight, please let me know if you were waving. If you were in the building and maybe you were telling people to stop, because just feel like you're asking the hockey gods to curse you, to do something to you. What's that expression? You're counting your chickens before they hatch or whatever.
Yes.
I just can't understand it. It has been going on for an incredibly long time in this city. Bag milk. Stop doing the wave in the third period in close hockey games.
Listen, I'm a big wave guy, but it's a very situational wave guy. If we're up 6-2 in the third period, you let that wave rip for the rest of the period for all I care. But in a 1-goal game, that is not the time for the wave. I'm with Aaron. You go in there. You do whatever you want when you're in there. But we got to pick our situations better. We got to be on the same page here. If you're going to wave, it's got to be the right situation. Tonight was not the right situation. So I feel like we as a fan base, we need to take our part in that loss. Because there was, 18,000 of you that some of you got, you got answers. If you were up on the podium, we'd be asking you questions right now, asking for your part in this loss. You want to take shots at Darnell Nurse? Well, I want to take shot at you, Mr. and Mrs. Ticket Holder, for going in there and performing as poorly as you did. And like Aaron said, counting one's chickens. You too are to blame, wave people. You too are to blame.
You're right. And it's like, I'm not going to tell people what to do. It's somebody put this in here right now. Final buzzer. Kids in the arena love it. Dad started. That's where I got to pull back on a little bit, because you're right. The kid wants to go nuts. But if you're an adult and you're not with a child, you're not with a young child, I don't want you doing the wave, because as everybody says in here, Kennedy's in, fork the wave. Yeah, there's a lot of that anti-wave. We'll just cut out the wave. We'll just cut out the wave until we're up. How many goals can we be up, Bag Milk, before you allow the wave in the third period?
At least 10 to 12, something like that. I feel like that's reasonable. No, I think you got to be up by a field goal, right? You got to be up by at least a 2-score game. I think that's appropriate for a wave. And if you're with your kids, I encourage you as a childless adult, teach them better. It's not our job to raise your kids. You do it.
Fact. Absolutely right. Pat, I see you got it here, and this is breaking my heart that we're going to put this up on the screen right now. But pull up the deserve to win-o-meter, because after 1,000 simulations, the Hurricanes would win that game 54% of the time. I don't get what the system algorithm this thing uses, because that was the Edmonton Oilers game to have, and it just feels like it slipped away, and that's going to be one we remember this season. Remember last year? Canes game for the Edmonton Oilers, it was the TSN turning point of the season. It was the tap heard round the world. And Connor and Leon gave each other that tap on the bench. Maybe blowing a game like that will kick the boys into high gear, as we can only hope. Let's move now to our hot and cold performers of the evening, brought to you by Odd Company Brewing, because we love Odd Company. And let's take a look at it, Pat, here on our screen. If you got it, Oilersnation Everyday Lager. Nation Beer Everyday Lager for game day and every day. Go buy these. Go check these out. Go check out liquorconnect.com and you can find out what select liquor stores they are in. You can also get them, of course, at Odd Company in their Ritchie locations. Or as I've said repeatedly, tell your local liquor store attendant this exists and you would not like to have to drive all the way to Odd Company. You want it in the liquor store right by your house. And I'm sure he will do that stuff for you. Odd Company, we're so happy to partner with these guys. They do great stuff. If you've ever been to their venue, it is incredible. It is a vibe. Can't believe I haven't been there more than just this summer. And at Odd Company Brewing, they believe in supporting community wherever they can. That's why they're getting involved with Oilers Nation, helping Oilers fans catch a buzz and properly pregame. Bag Milk, you've had these. They not only go down incredibly smooth, but they are delicious, my brother. They are delicious beers.
I've decided not to drink anything else. Going forward, I think that the only liquid I plan to ingest for the rest of my life is Nation beer. It's delicious. It is the everyday lager for a reason, and I'm going to enjoy it every day responsibly. Thank you.
Responsibly, that's what we like from our boy Bag Milk. Once again, remember, it's going to be in November, but we're going to do a live watch party event at Odd Company. Keep it locked on our socials. We'll let you know on Oilers Nation every day, and of course, I'll let you know on this show. We're looking for a weekend game to do and have everybody come out to Odd Company for a little ONE watch party. I'm excited for that one. I'm excited to see how that one goes down. So tonight, hot and cold performers. There are two guys that immediately jump off the page, and I'm going to take the most obvious one, Stuart Skinner. But he was absolutely incredible. The bounce back performance we needed. I mentioned 30 saves on 33 shots for a .909 save percentage, and Bag Milk, say it all the time. All I need is above 900 in front of this Oilers team. They should be able to score enough goals to help support that. Right now, Stu just isn't getting the goal support. Say what you want about his record and some of the stats against him. The games he's been in, the Oilers were shut out against the Winnipeg Jets. They scored one goal and another one. They scored 2 goals tonight. Sometimes you need your offense to step up for you because tonight, Stuart Skinner did his job and then some. We'll see how many Skinner haters are in my DMs after a night like this. Bag Milk, who is your hot performer this evening? And also, everybody in the chat, throw me some hot performers. Throw me some cold performers as well, because I'm curious what the fans are thinking.
I'm going to give it to the other obvious one. If you're going Stu, I'm going Connor. It is his first multi-goal game of the year. The first goal was an absolute snipe. The second goal was a nice drive to the net on a power play that had been struggling mightily. So hard not to give the second one to Conor McDavid. If he starts heating up, that also will be a big factor in turning the Oilers season around. So 2 guys that needed big games tonight, and Stu and Connor, I think both of them did that. So Stu and Connor, I like those picks.
I see some hot performers in the chat. None better than this one. Sergeant Battle said hot performer McMullet for taking me to the game last minute. Might be the only game I get to go to all year. And boy, was it entertaining. Battle, I'm sorry you couldn't see a W, but you got to hear Conor McDavid go bar down 5 minutes into that game. So that was pretty sick. A couple other people. This one, I'm agreeing with Fighting Amish. He said hot, Stu and Connor, cold, dry. And that's the thing. Dry had so many good moments tonight. I mentioned that second line cooking, multiple points of having like 60-second long shifts, cycling pucks down low. Jeff Skinner, while not the biggest guy out there, not the most physical presence, he's just incredibly smart. You see why he's done what he's done in this league so far. He just gets his stick on pucks and turns them over like that incredibly well, getting to open spots. Dry was good, but there's just something about tonight. He looked like a little bit like Pissy Leon, and not saying he was anything crazy this evening. I mentioned that penalty he took after going offsides and not back checking. There was a couple moments in his own end that I was like, Leon, just look like you care, man. I saw some people in this chat during the game and also online saying that Leon sometimes just looks super dejected without 97 on his wing or centering his line. And I can agree with that sometimes. I don't think it has anything to do with wow, I miss my friend Conor McDavid. It's just who Leon is at this point. We know he's emotional. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. Somebody, it's gone now in the chat, but they said, Leon just needs to get in a fight. Just drop the gloves and let's see if he can get some of that animosity out of your system. Dry, while he got 1 assist tonight, right? 3 shots on goal, 23-53 of ice time, had chances in overtime. because of that play that he made for the penalty and the offsides, I'm going to make him my cold performer just because I don't want to pick anybody else. There's a lot of other people mentioning someone who I know you are a large fan of, Bag Milk, but I will let you go on your own. Who's your cold performer tonight?
Yeah, I see the Nuge ones too. And the funny thing about Nuge is I'm not saying he's playing great, but how many players do you think have more points than Nuge on the Oilers currently? Because the answer is 3. If you picked 3, you win something in the chat, courtesy of whatever we got to give away. But what I would say for my cold performer for sure is the PK. They came into this game on Tuesday night, dead last in the league on the penalty kill at 55.5%. They are somehow getting worse than that, going 1 for 2 on the PK against the Hurricanes. That was the Goss to spare goal that ultimately got them back in the game a little bit. So the PK is struggling, man, and the special teams as a whole are struggling. But I'm pointing my cold performer at the PK.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. They came in a league worst, 32nd in the league, 55% penalty kill. And like you mentioned, those numbers are going to go down somehow. Special teams not being very special. We can talk about the power play as well here because it came in at a crazy low 6.7% tonight on the season. And there's been so much talk about making some changes to that top unit. Do you take a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins off, replace him with a Jeff Skinner? I don't know. There's a debate, right? Because Skinner, I think, is more of a shooter. I do think he can facilitate, but that's something that Nuge does well. He's also a puck transporter. I saw people today in ONE saying you should replace Zach Hyman with Corey Perry. I think that one's getting a little crazy. And tonight with the power play, right, it was frustrating because that first one they got, Jordan Stahl broke his stick on the power play faceoff, and it was a 5-on-3.5 for an extended period of time. And my God, the Edmonton Oilers were zipping that puck around, snapping it around. They had 3 shots on their first power play opportunity. And then after that, it felt like the wheels fell off. I do understand after that, the Oilers scored a goal with McDavid. But if you were watching that power play, it was rough up until that point. There was McDavid trying to enter the zone, and he just skated the puck right into Bouchard because Bouchard kind of just got in his way. I don't even know who to blame on that one. They just look off. They look stagnant. They look hesitant. Whatever word you want to use. The power play, Bag Milk, it had glimpses tonight. It really did. I want to ask you, you're not considering any changes to the power play, are you? Because I mentioned those reasons there. I'm a firm believer of this power play has been one of, if not the best in the NHL over the last several seasons. They will eventually figure it out, but I don't know how much longer I can wait here because we're going to need to see some results eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Like, I would give the top power play more time to figure it out. That said, I wouldn't be opposed to starting PP2 at times to kind of give them the, hey, you're not just the default option until you guys get going here. Give PP2 a couple of starts. I'd try something like that. But up for power play 1, I would also say, guys, get a little greasier because the goal they did score today came from Connor driving to the net, shooting it, and getting the lucky bounce in past Anderson. They're trying to do the set plays, and when they're at their best, those set plays work well. But right now, they're not working, so they got to simplify a little bit. And part of that means getting greasy, get shots, get traffic, get to the crease, hack away. You need to score some ugly ones, but nobody's going to care. The ugly ones are just as beautiful to the rest of us. So get greasy out there, boys. But I'm not panicking about the power play yet. I'm way more concerned about the PK.
Exactly right. Special teams, it has been great. Goaltending has been one of the issues so far, and tonight that was sound. We did get some offense, not enough offense, as is very evident as we are talking about right now. Oilers GOAT is in. He says our power play is just Connor skating in and hopefully scoring. Yeah, or it's one-timer over to Leon Draisaitl, or I don't know. Somebody else mentioned here, I'm losing it in the chat, Southpaw. Yeah, I missed the old Nuge wrist shot. Death taxes and Nuge going low blocker, BM, has been a staple of the Edmonton Oilers power play for years. I've asked you a couple times, what's been up with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins? Was it as simple as him playing center? Does he just not have it? And I said, I don't expect Nuge to be a 100-point guy. I do not expect that to ever happen again. He was a 60-point guy, 70-point guy for most of his career. I can understand the center argument because you got to be more defensively responsible, but it's just weird on the power play. Nothing's going his way. Can't receive passes, can't make passes. Pass is getting tipped out of the zone. Shots getting blocked. Nothing's going right now for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and the Oilers power play. Let's move now. Let's check in on Bordzy's bankroll, courtesy of our friends from Bet365. You know them and you love them because Bordzy's bankroll is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Oilers Nation After Dark. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. Use the code on the bottom of your screen. All capitals, Oily bonus. We love Bet365 because tonight they helped me get a little profitable this evening. You see on your screen, first one, 97, 2+ points. That baby cashed 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the second period. So I was feeling good. A plus 120 as well. Last season, anytime you saw McDavid 2+ points with plus money next to it, you got to take it. Old habits died hard. Bang, that one hit tonight. Then it's the other one, bag milk. Jeff Skinner, over 2.5 shots on goal. He has done this 6 out of 7 games so far this season. Tonight, he had 6 shots on goal. I should have done Tyler's ladder play where you do 2.5, you do 3.5, you do 4.5. You could have done 5.5 tonight. I wonder what those odds would have been. And then the final one, the one that didn't hit, the one that could have given me the correct score prediction, 3-2 Edmonton Oilers, and would have given me a perfect Bordzy bankroll. I bet all these separately, and I parlayed them together, plus 1,000. I wanted it so bad when they even took the time out in overtime to keep Connor and Leon out there. Selfishly, I was a little bit like, no, let Zach out there. Let him try and do his thing. 2 out of 3, we will take that. Best night of the season so far. Bag milk, I know you were sprinkling tonight. It was also Frozen Frenzy night. Shocker, my 16-leg parlay for $1 did not hit.
Yeah,
It was alive until 6 o'clock, 6:30, I think. So I did get some usage out of it. But bag milk, did you make any money this evening on Bet365?
I actually, you know what? I went light today, so I also did the 16-game parlay. I actually was looking okay through the early slate, and then it really fell apart after that. So my $1 into 10 Gs or whatever it was going to be did not hit. All I hit, Aaron, and I didn't put many bets down. All I hit tonight was over 1.5 total power play goals, and that was even money tonight. So Oilers got one. Unfortunately, the Hurricanes got one. But that means a couple of nickels for bag milk in the old jeans. So I took over 1.5 power play goals. That's the only one I hit.
Yeah, it's just kind of the only positive I had. Sunday, I hit a 4-leg parlay on football. Monday, I hit a 4-leg parlay. Today, 2 out of 3. When you're hot, you're hot. So I'm excited for Bordzy's bankroll on Friday night, seeing if we will be able to find a way to cook. All right, let's go now to let's do our Alberta Blue Cross meaningful moment of the week as well. Because if you're planning a trip, make sure you remember to pack travel insurance from Alberta Blue Cross. When you've got Canada's most trusted travel insurance in your back pocket, you can focus on making the right kind of memories while you're away. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information, and special shout out as well where you should get some travel insurance for, my friend Bag Milk. Well, it's the Nation Vacation, of course, because that's coming up November 29th to December 3rd as we hit Denver, Colorado. It's going to be a great time. Pre-game and post-game at DNVR Bar. Going to go check out the Cleveland Browns taking on the Denver Broncos without one Deshaun Watson, which means Jameis Winston. That's what I was trying to do there. Might get the start in that game, and I'm excited for that. That will be a very good time. Bag Milk, you got some travel insurance from Alberta Blue Cross for this trip, right? You do, right?
Not only do I have travel insurance by Alberta Blue Cross, I'm also just a Alberta Blue Cross. They're my provider as well. So I am a Alberta Blue Cross family here. Looking forward to having them cover me for the Nation Vacation. I'm super excited about it. I also think Jay has been manifesting this Deshaun Watson incident the entire season. He did say he wanted to go down there with a fresh Browns jersey. And I think this might have been him manifesting that moment.
Yeah, I do too as well. It was a weird thing on Sunday because we're not going to get into all the reasons people hate Deshaun Watson, but for the entire Cleveland home crowd to be like cheering as he's getting carted off for a torn Achilles. Hey, I'm not above it. When Kevin Durant tore his Achilles against the Raptors in the NBA Finals, I may have cheered. I may have had a couple smiles. Not proud of it, but it may have happened. But I don't know. It was a weird one. For my meaningful moment from Alberta Blue Cross, I want to talk about Frozen Frenzy because I love it. It's such a good idea. This is so sick. Still going on. You're going to have the Kings and the Vegas Knights going on, but nobody can watch this in Canada, or at least legally, I should say. That's absolutely nuts to me. I've loved what Amazon Prime has been doing with the Monday Night Hockey. They do their coast to coast as well with Demers and PK Subban. And right, who are the biggest fans of hockey? Well, it's Canadians. It's Canada hockey fans. And the fact that I couldn't see this on my TV, a little bit nuts. The play that I don't know if you guys saw this. Did you see Jacob Trouba just blow up Lane Hudson from the Montreal Canadiens? That was my moment of all of the Frozen Frenzy today, because that hit, man, dirty or not, whatever you want to say, I couldn't really tell at the angle I was watching. That is a rookie in Lane Hudson. He is going to need to keep his head up on the ice. If he's ever going to do that again, something tells me that's never going to happen again, because Jacob Trouba absolutely killed him. But guess what? I couldn't see it live because I couldn't watch Frozen Frenzy.
Yeah, I don't know that it was a dirty hit, but man, that is a hit. Like, actually, I've still got Sportsnet on behind me. They just re-showed it again. That was a monster hit by Trouba. But at the same point, when he's on the ice, you got to be aware, man, because at this stage in Trouba's career, this is just what he does. That's who he is. So, yeah, that is a monster hit, and hopefully he's all right.
I don't know if he's going to be all right, because his head bounced off the ice. It looked like he tried to get up a little, and then was just, brother, I can't do this. Rusty's in. Trouba hit was clean. It was a massive hit, though. Mistaken Mexican. I'm choosing to read this like Ron Burgundy. Trouba killed a guy. Yeah, that's and I see Mistaken Mexican. Why was Frozen Frenzy on a Tuesday? Why is this not a Friday or Saturday thing? I feel like Saturday would be the perfect time for this, but I get because all the games are going on at once after 5 p.m. or 4 p.m., I guess, today for Mountain Standard Time people. I don't know, Bag Milk, were you able to tune into this in any way possible? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge?
No, I wasn't at all. I was just kind of following along with everything that was going on via social. So no, wasn't able to tune in. Just kind of stuck in Oilers Nation land. Of course, I was watching pre-gaming with Bordzy. And then we had the Oilers game, and now I'm doing this. So no time to pay attention to anything else, Aaron.
Yeah, we're still going to get our coast to coast, I believe, on this Thursday. So that'll be good. Jason Demers and PK, they're a good duo. I said, we all know my thoughts on PK Subban and the things he said about the Edmonton Oilers. It's just like two different variations of funny. PK is so out there trying to be funny, and he is funny. He has moments, but he's trying to be funny. And Jason Demers is just naturally hilarious, and just anything he does just comes very easy. And I kind of like the chemistry the two of them have got going on so far. Is there anything, Bag Milk, that you want to touch on? We're ready here, I think, to shut things down. Anything we haven't touched on so far in this episode, or anyone in the chat want anything from BM to talk about? BM, the floor is yours.
I think I just got to believe that the Oilers PDO is going to go back to normal. I think that they're doing a lot of good things on the ice. Their shooting percentage is not where it normally is. It's not anywhere close. The save percentages are going to come up. Again, their performance like this is going to bring Stu up. So I'm just hoping the PDO gets back to normal. It's ultimately frustrating to see another win and go 2-4-1, but we're only a 2 or 3 game heater away from solving all our problems, Aaron, and I believe this team can do it. So I'm still feeling good.
Just an 8 game heater away, baby. We can solve them all. I actually also see Pat in here. Let's end it off. Let's take a look at that Jacob Trouba hit. You just brought it in because you're an excellent live producer. But this one, oh my God.
Oh.
That is insane to watch. I said, I can't tell. Ryan Whitney, I was following his tweets as well. I think this is clean, right? I really do. And at the point when you have to slow things down and go frame by frame, 30 frames a second, you're getting a little crazy with it. Bag Milk, this is clean, right?
I just how is it not? I guess the argument is, how is it not clean? It's unfortunate, obviously, the result that he got hurt, but Trouba wasn't targeting the head there. He was just targeting a human being with a body check. And unfortunately, the result is the result, but I don't think that's a dirty hit by any means.
Nice. I think everybody in the chat's agreeing as well. He didn't aim for his head. Clean, clean, clean. You just know online, you see the responses to the video. And I never know what anything is today in NHL's refereeing world. Bag Milk, big shout out to you. Thank you for doing this. Also, thank you for hosting the show while my entire laptop just crashed on me at the start of this bad boy. You let me restart my computer, and I am thankful for that. I'm also thankful for everybody in the chat. Throw down your courtesy like on the way out. And I'm thankful for all of our wonderful sponsors, Greta Bar Yeg, Square for the Good, Bad, and Oily, Odd Company, Hot and Cold Performers, Alberta Blue Cross, and of course, Bet365. The next time you'll see me hosting Friday night, Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins in town. You got to think that's a good get-right spot for the Edmonton Oilers. Forgive me. I don't think the Pens are the greatest team, and they have been battling so far this season. Tomorrow, Oilers Nation every day live, 12:01 Mountain Standard Time. It'll be me, it'll be Tyler, it'll be Liam, and we'll be talking about everything that happened here tonight and how that ended. Probably as worse as you could have thought. I mean, you did get 1 point, but with the 6 seconds remaining in overtime. I'm not a fan of shootouts. I don't like games being ended on a skill contest, whatever you want to say. Bag Milk, should overtime be 10 minutes now? Just make it 10 minutes, is my opinion. 3-on-3,
Yeah.
so fun to watch. I don't want it to end.
Yeah, nothing is worse than ruining a really solid OT period with a shootout. So stretch it out to 10 minutes. I actually think it'd be fun to get players lower in the lineup out there. The matchups would be fun. The line changes would be more meaningful. I think extending the 3-on-3 to 10, you're going to get a winner in 10 minutes. Let's be honest. So yeah, extend it. Let's go. It'd be way more fun.
And dudes will be absolutely exhausted, and you'll see Derek Ryan and Corey Perry out on the ice for the GWG. That'll do it for us tonight for Oilers Nation After Dark. I love you all. Get some sleep, and we'll be back on Friday to do it all over again. Good night, everybody.